Meet the innovators, Yannick Page and Gary Matalin. Yannick Page launched her first business at age 17 and knows how to start a business on a shoestring budget. She's a certified trainer in entrepreneurship and workforce innovation and is also the founder of the award-winning company, Future Services International. Gary Matalin is the co-founder and director of New Stone Limited and the co-founder and CEO for Kingston Live Entertainment Group that is responsible for Fiction Lounge, Usain Bolt's Tracks and Records, and Famous Nightclub. This season, 10 new assignments will compete to completely transform their businesses. With the help of the innovators, the business with the most positive changes will win $250,000. Yup, that's $250,000, courtesy of JN Small Business Loans. This week, they have a huge task of helping business owner Karl Brown to make more money. Let's meet Karl.
My name is Karl Anthony Brown, and I'm the CEO, designer of Khalil's Attitude. Just like you, yeah. I'm the youngest of 8, and I think, strangely, I think I fell in love with Dad 2 years before he died. You know, having 8 kids and working serious hours. He used to work at the wharf. You see him 5 o'clock or when you hear him rumbling in the mornings to leave.
No, if you don't know them, daddy, thank God me know mine and him take care of me. Daddy, I'm a general.
I've been working in business administration and accounting until about 4 years ago when I stumbled upon this gift that was hidden and I started getting into hat making and designing. Well, the process to create the pieces, it varies. First of all, I can't sketch to save my life. So, you know, it's always going around in my head. There are times when I have a concept, I have a design in mind, and I'm restless until it's done. So for weeks, I can never forget that concept. Though I've not sketched it or anything, it just stays there until I get it out.
What Karl's business needs really is more marketing. I mean, I think he needs to get the product out because I think there's a good market there for it, but it's just for him to really find the market and let's go for it.
Now that I'm about to go meet Yannick and Gary, I'm cool. I'm just here for the punches, then the medication. I'm cool.
Welcome, Karl.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Okay, so explain to me, how the business works.
Well, the hats are not done wholesale. They're not like mass-produced, but specifically tailored to suit the customer. Khalil's Attitude produce anything for the head. Well, the hats range from as low as $4,500 and max $10,000-$15,000.
Depending on the complexity, the materials, that sort of thing.
So this wouldn't have been a basic hat.
It would not have been a basic hat. It would not have been.
So
on the higher end of the spectrum. This hat would take you how long to design, conceptualize, design, and manufacture?
Well, this was like a 24-hour turnaround.
From the person came in to the person.
Yes, it was like a next day delivery.
The custom designs are great, and you can make great margins on it because you can charge a premium for it, but it can't be all you're doing. What would you say would be your cost of sales for something like this? So in other words, if you sold it for $10,000, it costs you how much to make it? $5,000? $3,000?
Again, it ranges.
Sure, but I'm saying, well, let's use a $5,000 hat, for example. What would be your typical cost of sales? I'm trying to understand what your markup is on a hat.
Okay. The markup, again, depends on what is used to accessorize the stuff.
Okay. Nope. You should have a standard markup. So you would know that if it costs you $2,000 to make the hat, you're going to mark it up by a standard percentage. That's how business operates. Has the business been growing since you launched? Give me an idea of what kind of growth you've seen, from inception. You've been around for
about 3 years.
About 3 years. So in year 1, what did you do versus year 2 and now in year 3?
Well, I started out, again, making just hats from that specific material, then branching out into other material.
So now I want you to give me the figures. Not so much tell me what kind of products you've been producing. I would love to know what was it like in year one. Give us the volume, but you have to help us help you.
Okay.
Because the truth is, if you are going to, and that's the only way that you're going to get help, right? If you're not going to be forthcoming and if you're not going to give us the information, we literally can't do it. I mean, we may as well stop now because we can't do anything if you're not going to assist us to assist you. I just feel that, this is a business that he's going to have to completely change in order for us to help him. I mean, I'm talking throw everything out and let's start over.
Will Karl follow the Innovators' design, or will he create his own? Join us after the break to find out and let us know what you think on Twitter at the InnovatorsJA and on Facebook at www.facebook.com/theinnovatorstv.
As an entrepreneur, it's important to remember that you are your brand. In most cases, you're your biggest brand ambassador. So the manner in which you carry yourself, how you dress, how you speak, is important in identifying with your brand. If you're in the fashion or the makeup industry, remember that you have to wear what you're selling to other customers. And so also in your marketing communication, there has to be consistency in your messaging to ensure that it continuously represents what your brand stands for.
Do you want advice from Gary and Unique? Well, this is your chance. 4 lucky viewers will win a business lunch with Gary and Unique this season. Visit our Facebook page for details at facebook.com/theinnovatorstv.
What we're trying to do, right, is we're going to try to see if we can figure out a way to increase your production capacity, to increase your margin as much as possible, right? And also to increase your customer base as well, so that we can see how we grow your top line and ultimately improve your bottom line. Yeah. So as it stands right now, if you sold this hat for $10,000 and you were making $3,000 off of that sale, and it took you 24 hours, pretty much your capacity as a single individual working in this business is going to be $3,000 a day.
Exactly. So if I call you today and I'm like, Karl, I need a hat, I'm going to get a rapid response. I'm going to get great customer service and I'm going to get a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those calls was us because we decided to test to see what kind of turnaround you'd give us.
Hi, good afternoon. Is this Mr. Brown? Hi, Mr. Brown. I have heard some really amazing things about you, and I absolutely must have one of your hats.
Really? What do you need that for?
I actually have an event coming up on Monday evening, and it's a very important event, and you are the only person that I can think of that could actually create something like that for me.
Do you have in your head what you need, or a picture of what you're thinking of?
I have no idea. I want you to come up with something special for me.
Would you be able to see me in Portmore?
In Portmore? No, that's a little out of my way. I actually go to church. After
seeing the clip and realizing that the phone call was from the Innovators, I mean, I find it very funny after all, but it was a real call, meaning that's just how a customer would have done. A real customer, their busiest schedule, they have the busiest schedule, but then you have to fit in, you have to provide the service that they require. So it was a real call for me.
Forgive my boldness, but are you single?
Why?
Well, I kind of like you. You have a nice vibe about you.
Do you know me?
No, I don't know you.
Let's deal with that first.
I found it funny from day one. When I hung up the phone, I almost hit the floor, rolling like, really? Does she really want the hat? Or she really looking somebody? You know what I mean? But it was funny, and it happens. When they meet you and realize the fine specimen that I am, it happens.
You know what? I think that you handled that customer very well, and it's clear that you're very professional in what you do, and that you are more than open to being very flexible to making sure that you can meet with that customer on their time, as difficult as the customer may be.
Karl, you're a very personable guy, and I came across on the call as well. Where I think you missed, I believe you had an opportunity to capture that customer's information. I would think if you had a database of your customers, that you would be able to market a lot more direct and get a lot more repeat business, which is the lowest cost to acquire customers.
Well, you know what, Karl, you've come to us because you want to grow this business. You are trying to make more money, and we are going to try to figure out a plan to make that happen. So if you could give us a little while, we're going to have a discussion, try to come up with a plan, and then we'll invite you back in and discuss it with you. It's a great business. I think he's very talented. His work is really creative. I love the hats, they're fabulous. But I think he has to move to create a catalog. He has to do standard pieces and try to push people to buy from those standard pieces, because it's almost impossible, Gary. You and I know this.
I agree with you. I mean, I'll be honest with you, what I can say just from a straight production point of view, the one-off custom thing is not going to be an approach that's going to allow him to scale up the business in any meaningful way. In addition to that, as you mentioned, by him doing all of the different aspects of the business, he becomes the limitation. He as much as he is the business, he's also the problem with the business, because the business won't be able to go beyond where it is now. So Karl, we all agree that you have a great product, you have a great service. What we need to do is figure out how to scale you up. So that's what Yannick and I have been focusing on. I think first and foremost, you need to understand that right now you are the limitation in that equation. I think you, by doing everything yourself, it just makes it absolutely impossible for you to grow the business to any scale right now. You're only able to do so many designs per week. You're only able to manufacture so many hats per week, and when we put all of that together, it doesn't make for a really sizable business. So we want to rethink the way that your model is structured right now at this point in time.
So we're suggesting a fundamental change. Your business all along has been made to order, and our view is that is not sustainable. You can do it, but you stay small forever, and you won't realize your potential. So the way to fix that is that you need to start standardizing some hats that you can have other people make, that you don't have to be constantly designing, and that you can really focus on moving volume. Karl has a good attitude, so I think he's going to follow the advice, and I think he'll do well.
Good luck on your assignments, and we'll see you back here in short order.
Karl took the advice of the innovators, but will it be enough to make his business more profitable? Let us know what you think on Twitter at The Innovators JA, and on Facebook at www.facebook.com/TheInnovatorsTV.
I found Jane because of a guy called Ivan. It was just like a miracle. I had it, but I lost it. I had a farm with lots of goats, cows. I had a boat, I had an engine, I had 2 cars. I had no problem with where I was living. I lost the boat, I lost over 100 heads of goat. I lost cows, we burnt until we just left them for the crows to eat. But let me tell you this, from 2005, I think it was about March, I am floating because of Jane's small business loans. I would encourage anyone who is serious about doing business to enter into their office, sit with a field officer, feel very comfortable with them, then do your thing. For me, I'll never depart from Jane, because they have helped me, they have taught me how to pedal, how to struggle, how to stand and be who I want to be. In this day and now, Jane is who I stand for. I am Anne-Marie Daly, a Jane Small Business Loan customer, and I'm very proud to say Jane Small Business Loans forever.
The Innovators assigned Karl a mentor with extensive knowledge of the clothes and manufacturing industry in Jamaica. Meet Bill Edwards, Managing Director and CEO of the Bill Edwards Clothing Company.
I'm excited because for me, Bill is doing an awesome job in the industry, and I'm here to listen to his advices, get some tips, and see what he's doing here and what I could take from this and improve my own business.
Hey Karl,
Hi.
Welcome to Bill Edwards Clothing Company.
Thank you.
Yannick and Gary told me you were having some problems, so let me see what I can do to help.
All right, thanks.
If you're going to look at expansion, you're going to look at expanding the operation. So you have to, move from you doing that sort of thing. Right. You understand? And start,
that's understood.
Your custom orders, we're going to call it your bread and butter. Right. So you're not going to move from that. Right. You understand? But in terms of moving from that now to production, right? First we have to structure the business in such a way. And when we say production, we don't mean you have to have 20, 30 staff yet. Because while your demand, you have the demand, then you increase the workforce. Right. Okay? But you want to start with at least 2 or 3 production workers. And one of the things that you could look at also is doing collections. So you do 10 pieces for summer. Right. And you work on those pieces. You try and maximize the potential of those pieces. And when you finish with that, then you say, okay, we're coming out with your winter or whatever, your fall collection. Right. You understand? Okay. That is how we do it here. What we do also, we try to take those collections on trade shows. Okay. Because trade shows are the marketplace for designers / manufacturers. Because remember now, you're moving from just a designer doing custom pieces. You're going into manufacturing, because you're gonna make those now and try and target like your department stores, your boutiques, stuff like that. All right, so now that we get certain things out of the way, maybe you want to take a tour of my operation, and you can see some of, look if there's any ideas, any pointers you see around there where you want to ask any question, you're free.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, so let's go.
Let's go.
Come on.
I'm truly motivated. I must leave here and take it to the next level. His expertise, his experience, I think that's mind-blowing, I gotta do this, trust me. I am motivated, I'm excited, and I'm gonna do this. Yannick and Gary thought that I needed to standardize the line rather than sticking to customizing. So that's what I will be doing. It's going to take some work, talking with a few customers to find out how could I serve them better. Well, I've brainstormed, I've been through the magazines, called a few customers, and get feedback. And the idea is to create a hat line called Church Flow. Now this is moving away from the customized hats and just creating general design. So that's what I'm working on now, and it's interesting because it's moving away from the norm, and I'm liking it. Yannick and Gary thought I needed to pull away from being the one-man band that I've been over the years, and get some help so I can focus on what I do best, which is conceptualizing and creating the designs. So I'm here today to interview 2 persons to decide who will best fit the criteria for an assistant who can assist with marketing and admin stuff. So this is where I'm at, and let's see what happens. Well, I've completed the interviews, and most definitely there's someone that will be able to assist me within a few days. She'll undertake the marketing and admin, which that in itself is a lot of work. So I'm already feeling relieved because I'll be now able to focus on the line that I'm working on.
It's now time for Karl to update the innovators on his business progress. Is he a contender for JN's $250,000 prize? Let's find out.
Karl, Mr. Attitude. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Give us an update on what's been happening. I see these beautiful hats. Are these more standard? What's been happening with you?
Well, yes. I was advised to create a standard line rather than sticking to the customized work I was doing. So that's just three from the line that I did, which is called Church Flow. And since I did that, I must tell you, I just delivered an order for a choir.
I'm so excited about that. That's brilliant. So you've already been seeing returns on the advice that you received here.
Definitely.
Well, that's amazing.
Okay, can't want for better news than that. Well, listen, Karl, the last time you were here, you had some challenges with your admin and your back office. Tell us what has improved there and if you've gotten any traction with that.
Well, I have sourced software that can, capture database and even more accurately track sales, the records of sales, and also I have moving to a bigger area because now the space is, it's just consumed with the work. Regarding that, I'm doing the standard line. It's not just a 1 and 2 piece anymore, but so I am transitioning to a bigger space.
Let me tell you, when you reach that capacity and you realize that you need to expand, that's always an interesting challenge because although it's a great problem that you're solving, at the same time you have to be very careful on how you deal with that because you don't want to take on too much overheads and then you're not really able to reap the benefits. So, but it's extremely exciting to hear that the new approach, the new strategy has increased your volume to the extent that you need more capacity.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's relatively short space of time.
You have exceeded our expectations. And the question that we always want to know is, you came here to make more money? Are you making more money?
With how it's looking, just a few steps from that.
I can't be happier that Karl has found a way to build his business, grow his sales, but at the same time also want to emphasize the caution and the planning that is required to grow. A lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake and grow too fast, take on too much too quickly. I think that controlled growth and that planned growth is going to be very important for Karl to be able to sustain what he's building.
Remember that money will not come immediately. The profits won't come immediately. You create the platform first, then you do the work, and then thereafter you'll get a reward.
As I continue to expand, I just say Jamaicans, Khalil's attitude is the brand. I really appreciate the support so far, and we're moving on to greater things. If you need a hat, if you need a fascinator, wedding, might I say, if you have somebody that you want to bury in fine style, I got that too. Just about any occasion, the Attitude brand is the brand to go. Khalil's attitude from the head first.
We've got plenty more inspirational stories and miraculous transformations to share on this season of The Innovators. And it all boils down to one assignment winning $250,000. Who will it be? You'll just have to keep watching to find out. The boardroom table and chairs were provided by the Corporate Interiors International Limited. We sell solutions, not just furniture. Gary's wardrobe was provided by Max Brown Limited. For further information on any of our assignments, please visit us at facebook.com/innovatorstv or email us at innovatorstv@gmail.com. Next time on The Innovators, Curtis Riddell will get some unfiltered advice.
I'm concerned for you, and I think that you're being a little bit stubborn almost to a fault.
And for the first time on the history of The Innovators, an assignment skips out on their assignment. This is one episode you cannot miss.
Why come here for help if you're not prepared to listen?
Curtis is stubborn. He's not even listening. He's not giving us a chance. I can't even finish my point.
The Innovators was brought to you by the Jamaica Yellow Pages, JN Small Business Loans, and Future Services International.